Welcome back to the channel once again. It's Plavi TV here, and today I just want to talk a little bit about Mourinho to Real Madrid. Is it really going to work? Is it a good strategy? Do Madrid really know what they are doing? Florentino Perez, is he really making the right decision? Because the current situation at the Madrid dressing room is a mess. It's an absolute shambles, and it needs to be managed, because Madrid haven't gone trophyless in the last 2 seasons because they don't have the talent or they don't have the quality to be able to compete. But it is because the players, the egos haven't been managed in the best possible way. And for me, this season, when we look at what went on under Xabi Alonso and also the happenings under Arbeloa, the infightings and whatnot, it all goes to show that these players, the egos in the dressing room, needs to be managed. You also look at the fact that there are a couple of aging players like Rudiger, Alaba. You also have Mendy. All these players are aging and they need to be phased out for new blood to come in. And I think that is one issue that people have very much glossed over. But to come to the substantial issue for this particular video, which is Mourinho coming from Benfica to Madrid. First of all, I'm not a very big fan of second comings. So let me put that out there even before I begin saying anything else, because I think that is going to influence my opinion about bringing back Mourinho. I don't think second comings really does work. I haven't really seen it work since I started watching football. Coaches leaving or players leaving and coming back to their former teams. Even if it doesn't go extremely catastrophic, it doesn't necessarily work magnificently. And I think in this particular scenario of Mourinho coming in back to Madrid, I really don't see how he's going to massively improve the squad. I don't see how he's going to win the Champions League with Madrid. I even struggle to see how he's going to win the La Liga with Madrid. The news that we are hearing is that he signed a 2-year deal, which would possibly be extended for another year. It hasn't been announced yet, but we know that this is still in the pipeline, and very soon, rather than later, we are going to hear some news, some confirmation about Mourinho signing. I think with Mourinho coming in, he's very good at managing players. He's very good at trying to get the dressing room all moving in the same direction. However, Mourinho is also a very volatile character. He's likely to cause a few issues here and there. I think the one thing that really helps Mourinho is that he's going to bring all the focus onto himself. He's going to remove the pressure from the team, put all the focus on himself, try to create a distraction for journalists, for outsiders to try and focus on and not put so much pressure on the team itself. But I still don't see him massively improving Madrid on the field in terms of constantly winning games, competing for trophies, especially in Europe. I really don't see it, because Mourinho, as much as he's an exceptional coach, he's won things. Nobody can disrespect Mourinho for his achievements. He's an elite coach, no matter how you look at him. But I think very similar to the manager that the Black Stars have appointed, Carlos Queiroz, Mourinho is on a decline. He's a manager who has been on a decline for quite some time. So if you are going to bring him in to a team like Madrid that demands constant results, success at the end of the season, trophies, laurels, I think he might win a couple of trophies, but the big ones, I very much doubt how Mourinho is going to bring Madrid back to that level. even if he's able to solve the backroom issues, the dressing room brawl between players, I think it is still going to be quite difficult for Mourinho to dominate the La Liga, win domestic trophies like the Copa del Rey, the Super Cup, and also come to Europe and dominate. Because I think the game has moved away from coaches like Mourinho. That is what I think. He hasn't been able to evolve well enough to be able to cope with the current style of play in Europe, the intensity of play, the sort of well-drilled styles of play where teams constantly carry the ball to the opponent and try to score goals. I don't think Mourinho has adapted well enough to be able to do that. He's won trophies even in his period of decline. I think at Tottenham Hotspur, he got them to the Europa League final and he was sacked right before the final was played. And I think he would have won it if he had been allowed to play in that final. He took Roma to the Conference League final and won it. He also played for Benfica. He hasn't been able to win, but I think he set a record, a new record, which is breaking the record when it comes to not losing any game for the entire season. He's been able to do that for Benfica, even though it didn't really materialize into any sort of trophy or accolade at the end of the season. He did well at Manchester United. I think he finished second in one of the seasons, won them the Europa League. So he's a winning coach, no matter how you see him. Mourinho is a winning coach. But as to whether he'll be able to get to that level with Madrid, where they constantly compete for the Champions League as well as the La Liga, I very much doubt that. I think he will be able to improve the team for sure, but I don't think long term he's going to be the solution to what Madrid really want. To some extent, people make the argument that it is due to Mourinho's work of stabilizing the team. That is why Madrid were able to come back and win the La Decima after he went away, and also went ahead to win the three-peat in the Champions League. For me, I don't subscribe to that argument. I do not want to credit a manager who has already left the team for success that happened after they left. I don't want to do that. No matter what, how much work they put in, there was a manager in that current particular team that won the trophies. And I think all the credit, all the plaudits should go to that manager. So for the La Decima, all the plaudits goes to Carlo Ancelotti. For the three-peat, all the plaudits belong to Zinedine Zidane. I give no credit to Mourinho because he wasn't the manager in the dugout. He wasn't making the day-to-day decisions. So the same way a lot of people say, for example, when you come to Liverpool, Slot benefited from Klopp's building the team and leaving him with a good enough squad to win the league. I don't subscribe to that. Slot won the league based on his own ability to coach a winning team. He did that, and he deserves all the plaudits. All, not 80%, not 90%, not 99%, but 100%. He deserves all the plaudits because Klopp had already left. Klopp wasn't making any decision whatsoever when it came to that particular season. So I don't like the idea of attributing Madrid's period of success after Mourinho had left the club to him and saying that he was the one who stabilized the club. I don't agree with that. I think the coaches who were there and in those particular seasons, they did the job. Mourinho wasn't able to win the Champions League. He was able to win the La Liga once. He won the Copa del Rey once, and I think he won one Super Cup. That is what I can attribute to him. And for me, if he's able to come back and repeat that, then it is a massive success. If he's able to win the La Liga, win Copa del Rey, and also the Super Cup, I think it would be a big success. But I don't think he will be able to do that. Even he will be able to repeat what he was able to achieve in those years when he first came to Madrid. So I do think that Madrid need a better direction. I think Florentino Perez is not really making the right decision. The decision to bring Arbeloa wasn't the right one, and bringing Mourinho back isn't the right one. I think Madrid is a big enough club to find a very, very good coach. A modern coach who is able to compete and actually build a team that is going to take this Madrid team places, help them compete constantly at the very top level in Europe. And I don't think Mourinho is the guy. So that's my take on Mourinho going back to Madrid. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you are new here, and also smash the like button. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Take care.